Hello, my name is Lucy and I'm here with Emily, Robert, and Rita.
We are higher education champions from Take Your Place, and we are here to give impartial information to you to help you think about interviews.
During this session, you'll hear tips for interview success and have a chance to practice your own interview skills as you join in with our model interview.
We are focusing on interviews with employers, but in our booklet there are potential questions you could answer to help with a college or sixth form interview.
But why are interviews important? Well, you can write a brilliant application which will get you through to the next stage of a job or a sixth form or college application. If you're applying for a job, this will nearly always include an interview, whether virtual or in real life. An employer will want to meet you to have the opportunity to ask questions and to understand if you have the qualities that they are looking for.
There is lots you can do to help prepare yourself for an interview. It is a good idea to research the company, check out their website, any details they sent you in the application pack, and look for any news articles or mentions in social media.
Do reread your application. You might be asked about something you mentioned, so it's a good idea to remind yourself what you wrote.
Remind yourself why you applied. What was it about the company and job role which appealed? You'll then be ready to talk about what specifically interested you and will be enthusiastic for the role.
Check practical details. What time is the interview? How will you get there? What will you wear? It's a good idea to leave yourself plenty of time. You want to make a good first impression. And while turning up early is fine, turning up late doesn't start the interview off well. If your interview is online, take some time to check which platform you are using. Is there a quiet space you can use which has good internet connection? Do you need to download any apps or programs? Again, give yourself plenty of time. It's better to wait in a meeting space early than being late and feeling flustered.
Practice the interview. You can find common interview questions by looking online and within our webinar too. Think about how you would answer them. It will make you more confident and you'll be prepared for the types of questions you might be asked. Mock interviews are great, like our model interview today. If you know your potential college or sixth form will interview you, we have questions in our booklet you can practice after this webinar too, using what you learned today to help you.
We wanted you to experience answering interview questions. So, in our model interview, Robert is going to ask Rita some common interview questions. Before Rita answers, we'd like you to pause the webinar and have a go at answering the question yourself. Then you can hear Rita's answer. Robert is going to go through and explain why Rita's answer could impress an interviewer. So, ready for the first question? You might want to make sure you have something to write with. Let's get our interview started. Don't forget to pause now that you know the question. Write down or think about how you would answer this, and then hear our model and why Robert is so impressed with Rita's answer.
What is your greatest strength, and how would you use this in the workplace?
My greatest strength is my ability to communicate with people. I've demonstrated this during my volunteering work at the local library, when I helped run a group for young kids in the morning, and in the afternoon I helped the elderly with their internet use. In talks with our manager, I got some positive feedback about how I worked well with both age groups. I've been praised for my ability to adapt my language to suit the needs of the different groups. For example, with the younger students, I was exciting and helped them explore the library, whereas with the elderly, I was able to explain the technical terms.
What's good about Rita's answer is that she's picked a strength that's likely to be relevant to most employers, so it will almost certainly be relevant to the employer who's interviewing her. She's kept her answer reasonably concise, it hasn't waffled on too long, and she's also broken it down a bit. She hasn't just said, I'm good at communication. She's shown how she can communicate with elderly people, she's shown how she can communicate with children. And she's also talked about the feedback that she received from her manager, so that she's got some proof that it's not just her opinion that she's got communication skills, there's evidence for it too. So that really backs up her argument.
Here is our second question. Don't forget to pause now you know. Write down or think about how you would answer this, and then hear our model and why Robert is so impressed with Rita's answer.
What motivates you?
I'm motivated by a few things. I like to keep busy and enjoy learning new things. I've recently taken up learning chess, which has helped me with my forward thinking and the ability to work under pressure. I also want to be successful and get a good job when I'm older, so I want to build up my skills to have my choice of career opportunities and jobs in the future.
This is a good answer because Rita sounds positive. She wants to build her skills up. She wants to be successful in the future. That always sounds good with employers. But also, she's showing how she's building up her skills. Just saying that she was learning chess wouldn't necessarily have told an employer much. But because she's broken it down and she's talked about the skills that she's learning from it, like forward thinking and making decisions under pressure, she's picking out relevant things for her work in that particular workplace. So, again, it's a good answer.
Here is question number 3. Don't forget to pause now you know the question. Write down or think about how you would answer this, and then hear our model and why Robert is so impressed with Rita's answer.
Give me an example of when you worked in a team.
I really love teamwork. I can demonstrate this during my Duke of Edinburgh Award. During our team hike and camp, I was good at keeping spirits up when people were feeling like they couldn't carry on anymore. This meant that my team made their checkpoints in time and everyone felt supported. I learned that working well in a team means supporting everyone and creating an atmosphere where people feel that they can ask for help when needed. Also, in my volunteering role, I mentioned before, I worked within a team and we got ideas on how to get younger users exploring the library a bit more. This meant that my comments were valued and I felt appreciated.
What Rita's doing here is using a technique that you can use in interviews, which we call CARL. CARL is CARL, and it stands for context, action, result, learning. So what she's done is she's told the story of the hike and the camp, and she's broken it down into the context, so telling us where she was and essentially what she had to do, the action that she took to keep people's spirits up. She chose to talk about the result, so people made the checkpoint in time, and she talked about the learning she got from it as well. So all of that makes Carl, and that just really tells the story in a coherent way that the employer will really value, and it does back up her claim that she can work in a team. So she can definitely impress the employer with an answer as full as that.
Question 4 is now on the screen. Don't forget to pause now that you know the question. Write down or think about how you would answer this, and then hear our model and why Robert is so impressed with Rita's answer.
Tell me about how you managed a challenging situation.
I'm good at keeping calm in a situation. For example, we were involved in a minor car accident. My mum was busy sorting out the car. I was able to help my younger brothers stay calm and entertained. As a result, my mum was able to contact the breakdown assistance quicker and could keep focused as she knew that my younger brothers were okay. They also didn't realise fully what was going on because I was distracting them. By keeping calm and doing the thing I was concentrating on, helped them and us all get help quicker and we could carry on with our journey. I learned that distracting my siblings left my mum free to lead and organise our next steps home, and everyone felt calm and supported.
An employer might ask a question like this because they're interested in seeing that you've already proved that when things get difficult for you, you're not just going to burst into tears and run away. Rita's proved this with her answer by using the Carl technique once again. She showed us the context of the car accident, the action that she had to take to look after her siblings and just help them to get through the situation so that her mother could then concentrate on getting the breakdown people out. She talked about the successful result that she got from it and also the learning that she got. That if she can keep her brothers distracted, her mother can concentrate on the work much more.
Here is our final question of the day. So for the last time, don't forget to pause now that you know the question. Write down or think about how you would answer this, and then hear our model and why Robert is so impressed with Rita's answer.
Where do you see yourself in 5 years' time, and what steps will you take to achieve this?
In 5 years, I hope to be in a good university studying for a degree or doing a year abroad to build up my skills. I would like to live abroad eventually, so I'd like some experience of that. Whilst researching your company, I was attracted by your global offices. I think that this would be an exciting opportunity to learn what opportunities you have worldwide.
This is a good answer because Rita has thought about her future already. She's proved that with her answer, and she's also made it relevant to the employer. She's not trying to make out that ever since she was born, she's always wanted to work for this particular employer. No employer's really going to believe that. But she has shown that she's done some research on the employer and seen that the employer fits very well with the kind of things that she wants to do in the future.
That's the end of our model interview. How did you do? Hopefully you tried to answer the questions too. Don't worry if you said different things. Everyone answers a question differently. Now you've heard why Rita's answers were good, you could go back and look again at your ideas. Can you edit these to make them even better?
We hope that you learned a lot from today's session. Next steps could include practicing our college or sixth form interview questions, or starting that company or sixth form or college research. Thank you for joining us today. Goodbye.